CNN touring his as-of-late obtained Plaza Hotel in the late 1980s, Donald Trump saw an armoire that insulted him. Smoldering, Trump blamed his staff for influencing him to look terrible. In an exclamation-bound blast, he ripped the entryway off the below-average household item, a previous senior Trump Organization representative related to CNN on Friday. After 30 years, the antique armoires at the White House stay in place. Be that as it may, Trump's temper, sharpened over years as an open and political persona, hasn't wound down. Lawyer General Jeff Sessions endured the worst part of Trump's most as-of-late revealed criticizing. The New York Times detailed for this present week that Trump, before various individuals, called his long-lasting supporter a moron. In the West Wing, Trump can be an unpredictable president, inclined to blasts of outrage that disperse as fast as they went ahead. The fierceness is an augmentation of what many say they encountered on the battlefield. Some near him even say his demeanors of outrage are an indication that he is locked in. "I would much preferably have him shout at me than be pompous," said a source comfortable with his administration style. In the event that he doesn't get distraught, it implies he couldn't care less. Individuals who have been in gatherings with the president portray an example for Trump's upheavals. They emerge without much cautioning, with regards to Trump's style for the sensational, making it troublesome for those in the space to maintain a strategic distance from circumstances where the business person turned lawmaker lets free on his subordinates. He's not modest about singling out one specific helper for a lashing, even with others looking on. Battling back seldom closes well, since there are a couple of themes Trump won't suggest in his more defiant takedowns. He appreciates swearing, one source stated, particularly when he is around individuals he is okay with like his long-lasting associates and family. However, he tries to evade it with individuals who don't have any acquaintance with him well. His favorite revile word, various individuals say, the proven F-bomb. One individual who has been in gatherings with Trump reviews the president showing his volcanic temper when he gropes ganged on or when no one reveals to him one of his thoughts is great. The tirades have, now and again, left his staff shaken. After a furious telephone call with the Australian PM in January, some of his staff were left quite confronted subsequent to getting a first look at his ability for seethe. Indeed, even as his temper has abandoned some with important stories, the individuals who have been in the stay with Trump portray a man who rapidly proceeds onward. He has a temper, indeed, and it doesn't take much to set him off, yet in the meantime, it is constantly exaggerated and he will be fine 5 minutes after the fact, said one individual who had worked with Trump. He can be volcanic and afterward he will be fine 5 minutes after the fact. Another source recognized that Trump had consistent blow-ups amid the crusade, yet that they were more amazed by times when the applicant kept down. It was a truly uncommon thing, the source said. There were a considerable measure of times on the battlefield where he didn't get frantic. However, in the event that he had, no one would have pointed the finger at him. President Trump makes a special effort to administer to his staff and has all through his vocation, a White House official said. The connections he has manufactured and kept up are a demonstration of his initiative and his astute approach. He pays special mind to his kin and they pay special mind to him. Trump isn't unwilling to demonstrations of thoughtfulness. Valet chaperons at his Florida golf clubs say he has touched base on moderate evenings, when tips are rare, to hand over $100 bills. Staff at the White House habitation to a great extent portray Trump as a wonderful, if inconsistent, man to work for. Also, huge numbers of Trump's longest-tenured counsels, men and ladies who have worked with him for 2 decades or more, stay faithful to him since they trust that dependability is responded. Yet, as Trump built up an outsized persona as a land engineer and later as a TV big name, it wasn't thoughtfulness that shaped his notoriety. It was outrage in every one of its shades, the wrath-filled official, the high-support extremely rich person, the belligerent Twitter troll. As Trump tirades and raves through his initial 8 months in office, his inclination for upheavals has held on. The separation of the White House, combined with the concealing billow of the Russia examinations, have made Trump brood and howl with unusual outcomes. Upheavals at his most faithful subordinates have turned out to be typical. Various men of qualification, with long vocations out in the open administration, say the dressings down that have sprung from Trump's lips are the most belittling they've persisting in their grown-up lives. Going in Arizona a month ago, Trump lashed out at his head of staff John Kelly, destroying the resigned Marine Corps general for recommending the president tone down his warmed political talk while examining arrangement matters. Prior to a similar occasion, a furious Trump called his long-lasting development man George Gidgikos to wind the group at the rally looked meager on TV. 3 months sooner, it was Sessions toward the finish of Trump's anger fire hose. Spoiling him recusing himself from Russia-related issues, the president's tirade incited Sessions to draft a renunciation letter Trump didn't acknowledge. The rundown of best authorities that Trump has embarrassed before different associates extends on. He cut off and undermined his Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin amid a meeting on the obligation roof. He more than once and openly blamed his first boss for staff Reince Priebus of acting backstabbing amid a year ago's crusade. Furthermore, he banned his initially squeezed Secretary Sean Spicer from a meeting with the Pope, regardless of knowing about his long want to meet the pontiff. Trump is not the primary president to have touchy upheavals in the White House. You couldn't associate with Bill Clinton long without seeing him get furious, Clinton assistant and senior CNN political investigator David Gergen has said. Numerous sources near Trump, with an end goal to pack down on the president's upheavals, given his outrage a role as ordinary in a White House, noticing that past presidents have shown a lot of outrage. I believe he's an even-keeled person and a person I've known for some time, so I don't consider him to be somebody who goes into wild fits, said Christopher Ruddy, the CEO of Newsmax and a Trump compatriot. A ton of Americans like that about Donald Trump. He's not going to be an imagined fellow. He's not going to state he prefers something when he truly doesn't. At the point when Donald Trump calls somebody a nitwit, I think in the Trump vocabulary that is really not an awful thing. That could be something to be thankful for, Ruddy included. Herl Schumer was a jokester, and he turned into a buddy. Clearly, Jeff Sessions wasn't so furious about it. He's still in his post. He kept his position. Trump himself has composed that outrage can be sent as a device as long as the genuine feelings stay in line. Many individuals think I am an irate person. Be that as it may, it's not valid. I am extreme and I am requesting, however I never lose it, he wrote in his 2007 book Plan for an Impressive Future. Some of the time I utilize outrage controlledly to make a moment that I am arranging, he composed. In those circumstances, I am utilizing outrage for an impact, to assist my objectives. Utilizing outrage usefully is another type of mental sturdiness that you have to succeed. Yet, individuals who worked for Trump at a very early stage in his profession recall his temper indicating more about him, not those he was seething at. Barbara Rees, Trump's previous head of development who worked with the then business person for a long time, depicted the president as utilizing displeasure to discover the shortcoming in individuals and afterward misuse it to his profit. Rees reviewed various minutes where Trump dressed down representatives before their partners, however it was an assessment of the Plaza Hotel in the fall 1989 that sticks out to her most. In the wake of seething over the upgraded armoire, Trump and Rees moved on to the revamped restroom, where the development administrator, with the assistance of Trump's first spouse, Ivana, was introducing less expensive green Chinese marble that the representative had endorsed. He rapidly flew into a fierceness. He began shouting, "This is shabby crap. This is no great. You are influencing me to look terrible," Rees reviewed. He is brutal and awful and he undermines. In the event that he sees a shortcoming, he will jump on it. That was his thing, she said. He cut your heart out,